Yes, y'all. Welcome into episode 76 of the Dumb Marks podcast. It's your boys, the favorite Saturday brunch bunch. The best four-man booth in the podcasting business, back at it again. Gentlemen, how we doing today? We good?
Happy Saturday.
All right. Yeah, happy Saturday. A little self-admitted. Turn off your phones. Jesus. We're off to a great start today. Self-admitted fat kid moment here for myself. I'm throwing myself under the bus right now to show, one, I am a chubby kid, and two, I'm a little old. You ever get heartburn so bad your throat hurts the next day?
Dude, same thing happened to me this week.
So listen, right? Well, Jay, you're tall and skinny, so you don't fucking count in this conversation. Okay, Donald, you're like medium. You're semi there, but not really. Like, you got to pick a side. Are you going to be skinny? Or you going to be chubby? Like, I need you to quit straddling the fence and pick a side. Okay? Me and Chris, we're solely on the chubby kid side, right? Okay.
I was sold on that years ago.
So yesterday, right? First Friday in Lent. Shout out Lent, but can't eat meat, right? So hooked up, went and picked up, fish sandwiches after work. My wife got this Korean barbecue salmon, looked amazing, right? All this bomb food, right? So I eat my fish sandwich, and this fish sandwich had to be like 2 pounds. Like, I don't know how many fish they caught, but however many they caught, that's how many they fit on this bun. Like, I've never seen a fish sandwich this big before. So anyways, eat my fish sandwich, you know what I mean? Nothing of it. Later on, sitting on the couch, and I pulled a Jason. I fell asleep sitting up, right? Don't happen too often, but I did, nodded off sitting up. And I woke up, man, and my throat was on fire, like on fire. And I'm like, how is this possible? Like, I didn't even eat nothing that would make me. But then, like, I started thinking, I'm like, I have not had like a fried anything, and I can't tell you how long. Like, no grease, nothing. Like, it's been a long ass time. And man, that fish sandwich took me out, dude. I was up till like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. My throat still hurts right now. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I gotta make some changes with my life. So any nutritionists out there, or motivational speakers that want to get me motivated to put my fat ass in the gym, and
snacks won't do that to you.
So that's the key. You just eat snacks all day long. Don't eat
snacks.
Meals.
Yeah, and I wanted to know how your blood sugar's doing.
He's still walking. He's still standing.
Still strong.
That little Debbie cake absorbs all the acid in the stomach. That's about
it. Must be. Yeah, the Pop-Tart sugar coating lines his stomach, so he doesn't have that problem.
I forgot to take my Prilosec this week because that just doesn't do it. I don't get any heartburn or anything with that. But that night I was just sitting there, like, could feel the acid reflux. It was like,
it was terrible, and it was like, and it wasn't even like. It was just from eating the beer battered fried fish sandwich. It was amazing. It was probably the best fish sandwich I ever had. But man, I was like, I can't do this no more. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So with that being said, and going from one chubby kid moment to the next, there was a little bit of a debate brought up by this guy right below me on the screen here last week. And we didn't get into it because we had a jam-packed show last week. Shout out again to Tony Sinceri for coming on the pod and doing the interview. And we'll talk about our night last Saturday night when we get into Bell to Bell. But Donald, you brought up the fact that if you dip your French fries into your Frosty, you might as well just leave the United States. Is that correct? Like,
I didn't say leave the U.S. I say you practice witchcraft, or you might be a spawn of the devil. So.
And again, me relying back on my chubby kid self, I definitely dip my fries into Frosty.
No,
you 1,000% do it.
You cannot do that.
I've tried it. I'm not going to sit there and say I'm not the don't knock until you try it. I've tried it, but no.
That's 100 disrespect to both the Frosty and the fry. The Frosty is supposed to be cold.
Marriage in Wendy's union, like that.
Give away to Frosty. It's disrespect.
Disrespectful. Yeah, it's disrespectful to both of them. Yeah, if you want a cold fry like that, just take the fry frozen and just pour Hershey chocolate syrup on it and a dash of salt, because that's the only thing you're getting. It's the same exact thing.
But you can't eat the fry that way because it's frozen.
I mean, you're doing it already.
You're
not refreezing the fry by putting in the frosty. You're just adding another element to the fry.
It's the same thing. It's two things that's not supposed to be together at all. It's like me having a paper clip in one hand and me having a shampoo bottle in another hand and putting it together. What does it do? Nothing.
Well, that might be
chocolate covered chips.
I was gonna say that. Do you guys like chocolate covered chips too?
No.
Yeah,
I don't.
The saltiness in the chocolate, yeah, like it's like that's eating chocolate covered pretzel. Like
that I do.
Yeah,
but not the chips.
The pretzel is sugar, so no.
And now I'm not saying I don't eat my entire thing of fries in the frosty, but I'll grab a couple and put it in and call it a day, keep it moving, just to let them know, hey, you guys are still together, but I'm gonna finish you separately. But you're still together, like it's okay.
I got all the heat last week about that too. So
yeah, there was a lot of people coming at you for that.
Yeah.
I was like,
and guess what? I'll die on that hill. I'll be the last one with the rifle shooting everybody down off that hill, but I'll
be there with you, hill. Donald.
Nah.
Back to back.
Mm-hmm. No, we can't do that.
All right. Well, yeah. So yeah, that was I saw that last week. I'm like, yeah, definitely got to bring that up because of the amount of traction you got for that. That was it's like my man's getting killed over there. He's taking grenades.
Are there any other weird food combinations that people like that? Because like for fast food,
see, I think fast food wise, that's probably the only thing. Like, I mean, I don't know, McDonald's, and I haven't done this in years because I haven't eaten McDonald's in years. But I would take my chicken nugget and dip it in the honey. But to me, that's not as
that's a different sauce. I
mean, it's not as
who has time to dip a fry? It's all gone. It should be the first thing off your plate.
So the fries are the first thing to go?
Like you eat fries first, then you eat your chicken nuggets, and then you.
So you're like a true 4-year-old.
Well, I'm always driving and eating, so
food don't touch, food can't mix.
I used to be that way. I was strictly that way.
See, for me, when I'm on the road, the fries are going first because I'm on the road.
You ain't got time to dip your fries.
I'm on the road, but whenever I take it home, I put it out as a meal.
Fries still go first.
So when you leave the drive-through, are you automatically handing the bag, eating something? Like you're not waiting until you get home at all to eat anything?
If I'm driving, food don't make it home. That's my goal.
Your goal is to finish the meal before
the next red light. Not even home. The next red light.
You don't plate it, then sit down, then scroll on Netflix for a half hour just to find the right show so you can.
You see that wheel spinning with a burger up top. That's me.
That's the gold egg.
It's plated in the Big Mac container already for you. You don't know how to hold it.
Do you do the Big Mac, open the container over top of the drink?
No, that's too much.
So you have it prevents spilling, right? Like that was the point for the hole in the box. So you have
spilling the from what? Who can't manage?
You're obviously a professional eater / driver. You're not fumbling around with your big ass hand in the bag, getting caught, or grabbing something you don't want to since you got to eat in sections.
Hey, I ain't had a wreck yet.
Well, hopefully your insurance company ain't listening to this. You drive
okay.
Like the rates up for you, right?
Yep. What's this new fee on my bill?
Yeah. All right. Well, with that being said, hit us up on social media. When you leave the drive-thru, does the food make it home, or are you finishing it while in the car? Hit us up. Let us know. And with that, I think we got an overstuffed edition of Smash or Trash, right?
We really do. Got a lot of Smash or Trash this week. Haven't done one in a few weeks.
Before we even start, y'all should be trashing everything because watch your heart. All right.
Oh well, yeah.
We're heart healthy here.
Heart healthy as you just buried like 3 Pop-Tarts before we came on air.
Talking about beer batter, fish sandwich, McDonald's fast food, Wendy's for us. Yeah. Very heart healthy.
Yeah, this intro, people are either going to really love it or they're going to fast forward straight into Bell. But hey, that's what happens when you go live, pal. Never know which way the show's going to go. So, all right, let's rattle these off before we get into world of wrestling.
All right, we got a lot here for Smash or Trash. So the first heart healthy thing is Doritos is coming out with a spicy nacho dip and also a Cool Ranch jalapeno dip.
Smash.
Trash.
Smash. But what are you dipping in it?
Doritos.
Doritos don't need dip.
Taco Bell is bringing back the Klondike Choco Taco. You know, this is something that we had as a child at Taco Bell. So
Smash.
Yeah, I
They
think
need to bring back the sweet churros. That's what they need to bring back.
They don't have churros anymore.
Not the little
cinnamon twist.
I'm talking about the
little bag you
churro
get.
stick. Not the bag of them.
Oh.
I'm talking about the individual churro sticks that they used to have way back in the day when they first opened.
Okay.
That were in the pretzel maker machine, keeping them hot.
Krispy Kreme Donuts is coming out with 3 different Twix donuts. There's a mini size, a fun size, and then a full size with an actual Twix bar in the full size.
Trash.
Trash.
What are we doing?
Trash.
I'm surprised Jason hasn't gone down to Krispy Kreme's yet.
Krispy Kreme
It's too far away. Who wants to go to Washington? You know, or I'd be there every day.
Krispy Kreme, unless you're driving through when the red light's on, are the worst donuts.
You're crazy.
Period. Hands down.
You're crazy.
The worst.
I'm with Steve. The worst.
What do you put above it?
Every other donut.
Anything else?
Dunkin' Donut?
Every other donut.
Anything else?
I give Giant Eagle maybe.
Every other donut.
Every.
Giant Eagle and Dunkin' Donuts, they're all the same now because it's like none of them make them fresh anymore. I think Krispy Kreme's might be the only one that does them fresh.
Well, damn, there you go. Krispy Kreme then won by default.
All right, so we're coming up on Easter, so there's a lot of stuff with that. The first thing here for Easter is an Applejack cereal and candy Easter bunny. So it's like a cream, not necessarily a chocolate, but I don't know if it's white chocolate mixed with like some type of like cereal milk with Apple Jacks inside of it.
No, trash. No, get that right. I'm mad that you even read that off the list.
Peeps is coming out with jelly beans.
Trash.
Smash.
So, looks like
I'll give it a try.
We got lemon, strawberry, blueberry, and then the one that can definitely get out of there is a marshmallow jelly bean.
No,
I'll give them a try.
Get that prowess luck ready. Mike and Ike is coming with jelly beans too.
Smash.
They're already a jelly bean.
Pretty much, yeah. How are they not classified as a jelly bean?
They're already a jelly bean.
I think because it has a different type of.
We're going by shape.
Candy. Yeah.
Shape. I'll smash that.
Jason, I know you already had these, but Brock's came out with taco truck jelly beans.
No.
It was margaritas, churro, salsa, guacamole, beef taco, and horchata jelly bean flavors.
I had 7 jelly beans. I tried each flavor twice and the margarita 3 times. And that's all. Look, the bag is still on the floor right there. I'm never touching them again. I'm giving them to Gavin.
Throw them away. Don't even give them to him. That's cold blooded.
Oh no, this is prank worthy. This is.
It sounds like the Harry Potter jelly beans. That's what this reminds me of.
It's like bamboozled, but worse.
Dunkin' Donuts is coming out with jelly beans for Easter. So there will be coconut. Looks like French vanilla coffee.
Just stop.
Trash.
Who is it again?
Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Trash.
Jelly beans?
It's all iced coffee flavored jelly beans.
No.
Jelly Belly done messed the game up.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. So much like the Applejack cereal bar I was talking about before, Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles is doing the same thing.
Oh, the Fruity Pebble ones are amazing.
To die for.
So they're doing them as bunnies, and they're also doing them as like mini eggs too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Cocoa Pebble ones are trash, but the Fruity Pebble ones, man, that's another tier level of candy there.
I saw the Cocoa Pebbles candy bar the other day, so I finally picked that up, and it kind of just basically reminded me of a Nestle Crunch bar. It was decent.
And Nestle Crunch bar is trash, so
Yes,
stay away from that. Stay away from that.
Here's one that I think will be trash all around. M&M is coming out with a Hubba Bubba flavored M&M.
Trash.
Like, why?
It's trash.
I try it.
Something that doesn't need to go together. Not sure about this one either. Icy is coming out with like an Oreo style cookie. So there'll be blue raspberry. You just buy them in flavor. So you're either buying blue raspberry or you're buying cherry.
Smash.
Trash.
Yeah.
Trash.
I won't buy one, but if somebody has them and offers me one, I'll try it.
I mean, if they're at the Dollar Tree, maybe I'll buy them. Steve, you sent this one over the other day. Payday's coming out with a chocolate payday. So instead of just, it'll be chocolate covered instead of just, the peanuts on top.
That'd be amazing.
Smash. Payday is one of the most underrated candy bars of all time.
I agree.
Very. Kill your teeth.
But it's
Yeah.
fire. Yeah, smashing that all day long.
All right, Donald, here's a couple Sour Patch for you. The first one is Sour Patch Kids cola flavored.
Smash.
Trash.
I like gummy cola bottles, so I'll definitely.
I do too.
Oh, those are terrible. Those are terrible. Those are like maybe two tiers up from candy corn. That's how bad those are.
Oh,
wow! No way.
Candy corn is
No
awful.
way.
No. Also, Sour Patch Kids Mega Duos. There's 2 flavors in one.
I swear I thought they did this already, like a long time ago, like early 90s. But I'll smash them.
Smash.
Yeah, I'll give them a try. A couple beverages. Pepsi is coming out with Nitro Pepsi. So there's going to be a Nitro Draft Cola and a Nitro Vanilla Draft Cola. It's going to be out at the end of the month.
Trash.
I'm not a Pepsi fan, but I think I kind of want to try at least once. This one sounds disgusting. Only at Buffalo Wild Wings, there's a new Mountain Dew called Legend. It's Legend is an original dew with notes of blackberry, citrus, and ginger. It looks black.
It's only available at Buffalo Wild Wings. Yeah. Can't get it anywhere else.
Trash.
Smash. I'll try it.
And last, this is just for why. Bud Light is coming out with Next beer. It's a 0-carb, super crisp light beer. 80 calories, 0 carbs for people that are watching their carb intake. Why don't you just drink water? It's a lot
trash.
If you're drinking any alcoholic beverage that starts with Bud, yeah, it's trash.
Yes.
Trash.
Yes, very much.
And that's all I got for Smash and Trash.
All right. Well, this first segment either kept the viewers engaged, or we have nobody listening right now. So let's get into Bell to Bell.
We got somebody.
Right.
What's going on?
There he is.
Hey, what's going on?
He only chimed in because we jumped into Bell to Bell. He didn't pay attention to any of the package that we talked about in the opening segment. So
he did respond. So. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Get that out of here. Right. All right. So this week, Bell to Bell. Tomorrow we will be going live to give our AEW Revolution prediction show. So Bell to Bell this week. We're not going to cover AEW in this particular segment. Join us tomorrow live, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Go to YouTube, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, check off that bell so you get notification when we go live to discuss AEW Revolution. We'll break down the week that was, the go-home week for Revolution, as well as the card itself.
Best 3-man booth in the business.
Jay doesn't discuss AEW.
I'm gonna pull that Brock time.
Someone's doing that Brock Lesnar contract tomorrow.
So yeah, we will get into one thing that was relevant in the sport of pro wrestling and in the world of pro wrestling this week, with the announcement of AEW buying ROH. We'll give our thoughts on that today. But the card specific stuff and Dynamite and Rampage, we'll cover that tomorrow. So with that, before we get into WWE and around the globe in pro wrestling with other promotions, last week again, shout out to Tony Sinceri for coming on. Shout out to at WrestlePit for having a great night of pro wrestling from the indie scene wise. It was my first indie show in a really long time. Great venue, cool setup. The biggest takeaway, and this is where I want to go with this. And Donald J, we can talk about your guys' opinions of the show and whatnot from a standpoint. But while we were there, the amount of young kids in the crowd that were there and were just having a blast. Yes. I mean, we were up in the balcony and there were 3 kids diagonal from us and they were booing and cheering everybody. I mean, the wrestlers were eating it up. They were interacting with them nonstop. There were other kids in the crowd that they were getting involved with, and just the enjoyment that those kids had. And you saw it on every kid's face that was there. Mm-hmm. Why can't we just enjoy pro wrestling like that? Why is it that it's always either a negative or a booking decision, or it's why has the enjoyment from a fan turned from just enjoying pro wrestling?
Because we in the sheets.
Well, we're not in the sheets at all. We're definitely not in the sheets.
We in the
not on that level. I mean, we're building the brand, but we're nowhere near there yet, right?
Kayfabe haven't been exposed to them yet. The wool over the eyes. So they still think it's, that good guy, bad guy thing.
It's still real to them, huh?
Yes, it is. Still very much real.
So you think it's just that simple, that we know that
we know too much,
working,
and we think we know too much.
Yes.
I agree
for me, for me, it's that simple. It is.
Because I was just watching them all night long, and I was just like, man,
you were jealous.
I was. I actually was.
Yeah.
Something that I've started watching wrestling whenever I was probably 2 years old, and I remember just enjoying it just because it was wrestling. Mm-hmm. And even through the Attitude Era, I still watched it and enjoyed it just because it was wrestling. But now, I would say, I don't know, probably maybe the last 10 to 15 years, it hasn't been watching just from a pure enjoyment standpoint. I watch it as a fan because I love pro wrestling and it's been a part of me basically my entire life. But I'm watching it, and as I'm watching it, I'm like, well, that's stupid. Why are they doing that? You know what I mean? It's changed. And I guess when I look at watching other things too, as well, yeah, I have. And not the same person as I was whenever I was 5 years old. I get that. But it's not just with wrestling. It's with everything that I consume from an entertainment standpoint. And is it just because we're older and we have life experiences and we give opinions on things, or what? What is it that, I know you said maybe the kayfabe being gone, but is it more to it than just that?
Can I tell you 5-year-old you would love Adele?
Okay, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Okay, let's not do that. All right? No, absolutely not. Okay.
No. Get it off a topic.
We know too much. That's it.
I think it's life. I think whenever you first become a fan, at that young of an age, you have that innocence of thought. So it is that good versus bad mentality in your head that you're watching, and it's pure. You haven't watched a lot of stuff for entertainment, so it's you're going in. It's just this great entertainment thing, and you're watching it, but then you get older, you taste change, you get jaded on things, and just I think it's a lot. It's not just one factor. I think it's just a lot of factors go into it, and you watch so many other entertainment things, and it's like doesn't entertain me as much.
But do you guys do that with other forms of entertainment that you consume, not just wrestling? Like, are you like sports? We're all sports fans, whether it's Penguins, Steelers. We're not even gonna bring up the Pirates, but I mean, like, we're watching it and we're just like everybody else, 3rd and 10. Why are you running a swing pass to the back in a flat? Like, instead of just watching the game and enjoying the game, like, where does that shift in mentality come?
You got me thinking about play calling now. I question 3rd and bomb every time they do it. So,
like, I literally and I know we're kind of getting off of wrestling. We'll come back to it, but I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on like why that shift happened with things, because honestly, like, I think the only show or form of entertainment that I watch truly as a fan and truly for enjoyment and don't sit there and critique and question and everything else. Like, for me recently, the only thing that does that for me is Cobra Kai.
It's because it's changed and you're just not used to it.
There's an episode of South Park a couple years ago that I think kind of sums this whole life event up perfectly. Like, Stan started hating on things, like got annoyed by a lot of stuff, and it's just like they kind of cover that in that whole episode. I'll have to send it over to you guys because it just kind of explains, like, you get jaded in life, and your taste change. Like I said, your taste change, and it is what it is, and you don't see it coming. That's for sure.
Yeah. So
it's kind of why I still watch WWE, enjoy it because I'm watching as that kid. Like, I don't need the adult nature, blood, and all that stuff. I'm still watching for the shits and giggles and a wrestling match. That's why I enjoy it. Now, when it came to the attitude area, of course, I was a teen. Was I a teen? I don't know. It was in that part of life where it's like, this is new, this is cool, and then you grow out of that. Then I reverted back to.
But yeah, I mean, we enjoyed the show. It was a good night of indie wrestling. Even on that small of a level. And I just say small of a level because to me that's like your base indie, right? Where you're in your VFW or wherever, right? And you're building, right? So like even down on that level, you could see the tiers of talent on the show, right?
Yes.
Like you saw guys, and they had TME was there. They've been on AEW Dark.
Yeah.
When they came to Pittsburgh last, Jay's rocking the shirt there. Shout out them. But even in that match, you could see there was a 6-man involving them, another guy, and then their opponents, and the levels of talent just in that match alone.
You can see
it was staggering, and it's like, okay, if this was on a Dark or an Impact or a Raw, we would be killing it. But because I was in the moment in a show, like, it didn't take away to where I was like, oh, this is trash. Like, why are you even putting this on your card? It was like, okay, these guys are out here working, building their craft. Some were brand new, may have been first match, and other guys have been around doing things with other indies. So,
and I think live, you changed. Well, live, you're looking at it differently.
I agree.
Yeah,
I've gone to WWE and enjoyed it Raw or SmackDown, whatever, more live than if I would have watched it on TV.
Of course, yeah.
Because you're in that moment. You're feeling the crowd energy, I think. And it just comes off differently than if you're just watching at home, just critiquing everything.
So for me to watch a 3-hour Raw, I got to be live. That's what you're saying?
No, because I've done the 3-hour Raw and hated every minute of it live too.
It did with us too when we went there. Like, that this is a low-level independent, so you're going to see mess ups. You're going to see like wrestlers that are like truly, truly green, like that Battle Royal was the first match. Like, you saw a lot of green talent there. but you can't hate on it because somebody got to start somewhere, you know.
Right.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere, so you just can't hate on that.
And then you also see people you're going to see on TV soon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or are already on TV.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
you had Lady Frost, you had Josh Woods,
Matt Taven
has been on TV, Matt Taven. So like they had a really good blend of talent that is on TV and working in big time promotions, as well as hey, this may be your first match tonight. Don't throw up in the ring. It was that range, but I thought they did a hell of a job of putting on the card, getting fan interaction, making stuff entertaining. Each match was different. There wasn't we didn't get 7 lucha matches. Like each match was different. There were different things to each match, and I thought it was a hell of a job by them. And because they are a Pittsburgh-based indie, I will definitely be back to support that show and that company. So shout out to Lady Frost and Vic Benjamin, because they did a hell of a job, and hopefully they can get it to grow in the Pittsburgh area there. So.
And Joey for coming up to the cheap seats and talking to not the cheap seats, but the peanut gallery to talk to us.
Yeah. Shout out for Tony coming up and chatting with us during intermission. Appreciate that as well. Super cool dude. He got me. He worked me. I got worked.
You're rehashing some old Joey.
Yeah, I got worked. Joey, I said Tony.
Yeah, you can. Them losses in high school. Sticking in your head.
I'm gonna have to apologize to him on Twitter after we get off the show today. But yeah, no, he came up, chatted with us for a couple minutes. Super cool dude. You know, he did. He worked me. Faked the old knee injury. Slid right back in the ring and got the one up on Lady Frost. But it was nice to have, like, to be in that moment again. Like I said, to circle back to my opening question, like I was in the moment and it worked and it got me. And it was just nice to enjoy pro wrestling from the standpoint of being in the moment and just watching it to enjoy it. That's what I'm gonna start doing more. We're gonna have more positivity.
We got some other local live events coming up, so maybe we start exploring some of those more.
Right. IWC is coming up here on the 19th for their anniversary show 21. So we got some stuff in the works for that. Stay tuned.
I know whenever me, Don, and Jason went to some IWC years ago, you know, it's like we went to that. We all looked like why can't WWE be this entertaining? It's sometimes like the local events kind of get you back into it a little bit. You're seeing different people. You're getting that fresh perspective on something else.
You get in house shows. You get a rare glimpse of it in house shows.
Right.
Because for me, like in the independents, it's more like fan interaction. I enjoy that the most. Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, Chris, you brought up WWE. Let's get into Vince McAfee. Vince McMahon was on the Pat McAfee show this Thursday. First live interview in 15 years. The chairman of the board sat down and had almost a 2-hour conversation. And to me, that's what it came off as. It was a conversation between two people. It wasn't like an interview. And I think that goes to the genius of Pat and how he's able to get people to open up. And it's not just Vince. You see it with all his guests on the show. Aaron Rodgers every week. You've seen it with Brock. You saw it with Vince this past week. And basically anybody that he comes on and does an interview with, he's just able to get them to be comfortable and just talk and bullshit for however long they're on the show. And it was amazing to watch. I watched it live and then I went back and rewatched it again Thursday night. And man, there was some good takeaways from that based on what Vince said, his thought process. His background. I thought he, talked about, he even opened up about his childhood and gave some insight to that, which I don't think we've ever heard Vince go into.
He has. There wasn't really a whole lot that came out in that interview other than the few, like him asking Pat for a WrestleMania match and stuff, but definitely nothing that I haven't heard from him before. But it was a very good interview. I agree. It definitely came off more like conversation. I rewatched it last night too, just because I watched that. I was listening to it at work on Thursday and just couldn't hear everything. And Vince's mic was kind of a little low, so it did seem like whenever they went back and posted the interview separate, it did kind of seems like they may have adjusted the audio a little bit because it definitely sounded better.
Well, he comes across like that on Raw too. He's like, you can hardly tell what he's saying.
Yeah, I said the same thing about him whenever I do the conference calls for WWE. It's like, oh, come on, I have to turn up my speaker volume like the whole way, and then like once he's done, like someone else comes on that shouts right out, and I have to turn it right back down. It's like, I think that's just the way he is.
So with him coming on and you know the announcement that he'll induct the Undertaker, which we discussed at the time when Undertaker was announced, who puts him in, right? And the list was short.
Mm-hmm.
Probably only 3 or 4 people that you could think of, but I mean Vince is the right call. I don't think, you know, maybe Kane would be the second choice, but for me it was always Vince to induct him, and I'm really interested to watch that introduction because of the personal relationship they have. You know, I think it's going to be a completely different side of Vince McMahon than what anybody has seen before. I think it's going to be, like he said, it's going to be the hardest thing that he's ever done, and I'm really excited to listen to that, you know, intro, as well as Mark Calloway / The Undertaker get up there and talk about, you know, his career and life in this world of wrestling that we love. So exciting news there, right call there. And then we got the offer, which I don't think anybody would turn down live if Vince McMahon asked you to wrestle on WrestleMania. Pat McAfee, hashtag put the strap on Pat is back, baby. Did the announcement live on his show take away from anything they did last night with Theory?
I didn't see a lot. I heard about it, but I didn't watch what happened.
A little bit because you figured it was going to be Theory.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the only piece of the interview that I wish I didn't hear, because when I saw Austin's music hit and come out last night, I'm like, okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know exactly where they were going.
Yeah.
I think I would have enjoyed it more if I didn't hear McMahon make the offer to him and him accept and know he's getting a match at WrestleMania. So,
and Pat went full.
He went
on
full
with the play. Like we didn't know it was coming.
Back in. Austin Theory is now known as something bitch boy toy. I think is what his tag name will be leading from now to WrestleMania. Almost dropped an F-bomb, or did drop an F-bomb, and they hit the dump button on him.
Thought he was on TBS, huh?
Yeah. He was on TBS. But no, we're off and running. So there's another match for WrestleMania. We got Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania. New Intercontinental Champion last night, Ricochet, beating Sami Zayn. That IC title, for being dormant for 2 years, has now been passed around more than the 24/7 championship
In a month.
Yeah.
No, it hasn't.
I think in their opinion, it means about as much.
So the rumors were that Ricochet more than Finn were in line to get a big push, right? And we see this sometimes throughout the years come WrestleMania season. You see somebody get a push to get a rub, and then after Mania hits, it's done. Like you don't. Cesaro, perfect example, right? Big push in the Roman, Seth, Mania match. That's it. Haven't seen Cesaro. Now he's left the company. Why is it that you can't carry that on with people? Or why do they just automatically hard stop it after Mania is done with? Because we've seen it before in the past.
Mm-hmm. It's happened before. It's going to happen again. I don't understand why. We're not the ones to answer that question.
It's the guy.
They're too focused on the big guy.
It's whoever they put the belt on.
Too focused on the big boys.
The Miz is the last person, the last SC champ who made the title relevant.
So you think that if Ricochet fizzles off after Mania, it's because of Ricochet? The guy that can go in the ring?
He can go.
If they don't put him out there though to showcase that, like we know Shinsuke can go, but how many months didn't he wrestle? So if you don't put him on the show to wrestle, it's not him. That's the problem.
WWE fans are a different beast.
They're not your
diehard fans.
I think it's just lazy.
So they don't want to see the IC title because they're not diehard fans?
No, it's not that. It's just
you don't have to have it on every week. There's nothing that says it has to be on every week.
You don't.
Every other week, once a month, whatever.
But the match they gave you yesterday would have went off different in AEW.
Let me pose the question to you this way: can Ricochet have the same type of run with the IC title that Sammy Guevara is having with the TNT title?
Yes.
Different company.
And I don't mean from the standpoint as the TNT title is a relevant title. It's just as relevant as the AEW championship, right? Can they have that be the same way in WWE to where that belt is relevant based off of who's carrying it in the matches that they have? Because to me, Sammy and Ricochet, you can interswap them and it'd be, Sammy is a little bit more charismatic than Ricochet, a little bit better on the microphone than Ricochet, but to me, performer-wise, they can have match of the night every time they step out there. But so why can't that be as relevant as your world title?
It's a different audience.
You don't think the kids want to see, an
you put Sammy
match?
If you don't want to see what?
You don't think that the kids would want to see an acrobatic style match? Like that wouldn't pop the kids a little bit?
You got to be ready. You got to come with flash and pizzazz, and
the kids really know who Ray is.
It's not going to come off the same in a WWE ring, in front of a WWE audience.
I think Ricochet's style, it should attract more kids because it is a lot of high flying.
He's a real life superhero.
Yeah, like you're getting the flips, the jumps, big stuff that'll attract kids' eyeballs to keep them focused in the ring. I think that's why he's a good wrestler.
Did you like high flyers as a kid?
Yeah.
Macho Man,
Shawn Michaels,
Steamboat.
They weren't high flyers. Come on.
For that, they were jumping off there for that era. They were
not no flips and dips.
For that era, they were considered high flyers. Who was jumping off the top rope at that time?
Everybody jumps off the top rope.
I didn't see brother jump off the top rope.
Hey, that's one guy.
I didn't see Andre jump off the top rope.
But they're not. I'm talking about. Do you like Rey Mysterio?
No,
yeah.
No, you don't. There you go. There you go.
But but it's time passed with me though. By that time, I was older in the thing.
Especially Rey Mysterio, 95 to 2000, like ECW.
You enjoy Rey Mysterio, Chris?
I didn't like.
You have a personal beef with Rey Mysterio, I do believe.
I didn't like his title run. Other than that, I was a huge Rey Mysterio fan. WCW.
The larger than life characters.
It's like when he came to WWE, I thought that was one of the best things that they could do for him when they put him on SmackDown. Like everything that I might not like some of the stuff they've done with Rey Mysterio, but I think he is a very talented wrestling performer.
Oh, yes.
And there's money. I think they've gotten their money's worth out of Rey Mysterio over the years.
Rey is still one of the more beloved characters with the kids. So why can't Ricochet have that type of run? Because to me Ricochet is the evolution.
You can't just be in ring.
But Rey was just in ring.
Yeah.
Rey wasn't a talker. Rey's not a promo guy.
He had something different.
For me, they put the marketing machine behind Rey.
Yes,
where they're not putting the marketing machine behind Ricochet.
Which they're supposedly doing now.
Yeah. We'll see.
Until Mania.
Yeah.
Sammy's best promo comes on a cue card, so he wouldn't work.
Well, take Sammy out of it.
You just put him in. You put him in there.
Okay, but Chris brought up a better comparison because he's in the WWE. So look at it from Rey Mysterio and Ricochet. Why can't Ricochet have that same run and not necessarily have to be a world champ like Ray was, because I think
Yeah.
circumstances dictated that more
Yeah.
than Vince seeing Ray as a guy, right, to put a belt on him. But why can't he be the evolution of Ray and take Ray's spot as Ray for this generation?
I don't know. Ray's an anomaly.
But if we're trying to do cookie cutter to put those people there, like,
there you go. That's the WWE style.
Yeah, if we're trying to find the next Rey Mysterio to put some money behind, why?
So do Ricochet got to put on his Prince Puma mask on to take Ray's spot?
No, because you saw what Lucha House Party did. Nothing.
And whose fault is that?
The fans didn't care.
I think the fans cared.
I think the fans cared.
Nah.
I mean, I'm not saying it was long term, but I think the fans were really into the Lucha House Party there for a while.
They were doing the hand movements.
Yeah.
They were doing all that. Who didn't like them?
Got to be more than just hand movements, man.
Who didn't like them?
I mean, Vince talked about it on Pat. They listen. They have a focus group every time they go on TV. And if you go out there and you get a reaction, something's working. If you go out there and don't get a reaction, they know not to move forward. If the fans are sitting there and Lucha House Party comes out and they're chanting and they're cheering them, that sounds like it's working.
But you got to be more than just a lucha. You got to be more than just a catchphrase.
Rey Mysterio was
never had
out the sky. It's Rey Mysterio, and he'd come up through the ramp, and that was Rey. Like
Rey is, I don't know. Rey is different. Rey is the only one to stand the test of time. Give me somebody else.
Ricochet.
Rey's the one that they did.
You got it.
Give me another Rey Mysterio.
That's just as
that stood the
talented
test of time.
Rey.
Nobody.
Well, see, no, because
I think there's
say that
circumstances involved in there.
Yeah, you can't say that because if you look,
there are people
that Ray came up with.
Yeah, there are people
that are just as big in Mexico or bigger in Mexico, but it's because it's Mexico, you don't put them on that level. So if you look at Juventud and Psychosis,
super crazy.
Like they're just as big in Mexico as Rey Mysterio is
We're
here.
not talking Mexico. We're talking here.
But it's the guys who grew up with Ray. The guys with
Ray.
Ray.
You can't just eliminate those guys because they don't wrestle in the States.
But then you're going back to there's a reason Vince didn't put the money behind them. Like he didn't invest in them to be the next guy, where he put the money behind Ray. You know, so maybe
put
if
him
he
on
would
a John
have
Deere and made him drive around the ring in a tractor.
Maybe if he would have put the money behind some other people, maybe they could have done it. Got us all speechless on that
one. Hey, that's what they called it, not me.
I know. I think that's a perfect segue.
One thing I will say, and we're still 3-4 weeks away from Mania, right?
4
weeks away from Mania. And they did it last night on SmackDown, and it's just I hate it because it doesn't do anything. Why are we getting multiple segments with people that are wrestling at Mania, wrestling each other, or constantly interacting right now? And you saw it last night because you had Naomi and Sasha come out. Mm-hmm. They're challenging for the women's title. So Naomi's going to have a singles match against Carmella. Great. Next week, Sasha will have a singles match against Zelina. The following week, Naomi will wrestle Zelina. And then the go-home show will be Sasha against Carmella. And then they're wrestling each other on a pay-per-view. It's like, I don't need to see you 6 times before the pay-per-view.
Give you the match away.
How many people do they have left?
I enjoy it.
One each week.
Because in AEW, I fizzled out of every storyline there is because I'm tired of waiting. That's me.
You don't like stories.
I don't care about the no touch policy. Touch.
Oh, I don't care about that match, period. But
yeah. Huh? What the
no touch match, the Jade versus Ty.
No, I'm talking about like Steve likes to say he doesn't want nobody touching before the big match.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I don't. Fight every week. I don't care.
It didn't why buy the pay-per-view then?
Yeah.
You've seen it already.
I'm not buying the pay-per-view.
No, I'm just saying, like,
I'm gonna watch it.
I'm just saying, like, if you see them fight like for a whole month straight, why watch the pay-per-view?
Why watch it if I seen them screaming at each other for a month straight?
But again,
But they're not. But everybody's not screaming at each other for a month straight.
MJF and Punk have been screaming at each other for a month.
No,
I fizzled out on
and
Thunder
Punk
Rosa,
have
Britt
not been
Baker.
screaming at each other for a month. MJF and Punk have told a story over the last 2 months, 3 months, 4 months.
Continue
It's
on next
long-term
week's.
storytelling.
Nah, I don't need long-term.
They
Give me a
wrestled
match.
once. They're going to wrestle twice in a 4-month feud.
I don't need that.
Built up to this crescendo of a dog collar match.
There is no crescendo because half the time the matches don't live up to the build. Touch. Put your hands on somebody. That's why I don't care about the no touch clause.
There's no investment in me watching 4 women wrestle each other over the course of a month. Probably have a tag team match against each other the night before WrestleMania, and then go out there. And
We're getting
wrestle each other
revenge.
on
We're getting the what is it? WrestleMania Backlash.
Yep.
We're gonna get the
Get that
rematch, and I'm gonna watch it.
we know. You enjoy it. As long as you enjoy it, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
But we
Change my name to WWE.
and
more.
Vince talked about the creativity and always doing what's best for the audience, and he listens to his audience.
Who you
So then
listen to?
why
Live
do that
audience.
when the audience doesn't?
He don't care
listen
about
to it?
you. You don't hear shit on the product.
He
The
did
live
say
The
audience.
live audience, he don't listen to either because he pipes in crowd noise every week.
No, they don't.
Yes, they
They
do.
do so.
I sat there and who did I watch? Who did I watched? It was like a couple weeks ago. It was a thing match on AEW. It was your boy Trent. He fought somebody. It was a tag to Trent, Young Bucks, and somebody. I heard a "This is awesome" chant in the audience, and didn't see nobody. I saw one guy clapping.
So nobody's mouths were moving at the time you heard this is
No.
awesome.
No,
Everybody, come on.
I saw. It's saved on here.
We can say the same for WWE though.
There's one guy. So you mean to tell me it didn't happen because the people on camera's not screaming? You got the people in the cheat seats are the one that's screaming the loudest.
Dog.
You have a whole audience, and you're focused on the people behind the ring saying they're pumping in crowd noise.
They ordered. Come on now, dude. How many times when Keith Lee came out as Bearcat Lee, they didn't have boos piped in? The crowd was popping for him and they're booing him. What are you talking about? They do it all the time to spin their narrative to get you to like a certain guy or not like a certain guy. It's what Vince took from the Thunderdome to be able to get you to want to love or hate somebody.
And let's put this out there. AEW and WWE, neither one of them have any fans in the cheap seats right now. They are all in the bowl.
Very true. Very true.
Neither one of those neither company is selling out everything right these days. So when you're seeing the lower bowl not have any reaction and you're hearing a reaction,
it's you have to account for a whole stadium.
yeah,
They don't run a stadium
everybody
week.
that they're showing on camera is the stadium these days because they're combining
they don't run a
everybody to sit
stadium every
closer.
week.
It's both companies. I'm not trying to say WWE. It's both companies. They're condensing the crowd so much just to make the camera look good.
Yeah.
You don't believe that?
I'm not condensing, but you still have a whole half of going around to the corner.
But if they're condensing them all onto the one
doesn't
side
pipe
and
in-
nobody over there, you're seeing the crowd.
WWE doesn't pipe in crowd noise at all.
Fox has this weird. I don't know what.
There we go. Now it's the network.
No,
Okay.
no.
Fox is
Ever
doing it.
since Fox went on thing, they have that weird commotion noise.
Oh, okay.
It's just commotion. It's just commotion. It's not a chant. It's just commotion that they have. But they're not piping in cheers. They're not piping
they
in. This is
are.
awesome.
Yes, they are. They're piping in the studio audience laugh track. They're doing it with cheers and boos.
Just because you can't see it from the people behind the screen doesn't mean a whole stadium's not.
Dude, if
The
you
sound-
think that they're not piping in crowd noise right now, you have totally bought into the WWE product. And you are definitely a 5-year-old as a 39-year-old man. If that's the case.
So Steve's going to
1000%.
AEW. So Steve's going to AEW when they come here. You're going to be there live. So go live, do a social experiment. Go live, see what the crowd reaction is, and then go back and watch the TV.
The crowd
and see
reaction
what they do.
is 1,000 times different from AEW to WWE. AEW crowds are invested; they're involved.
And who
They're
wants to
chanting-
go with Jason
we
to
had-
go see
we
Raw?
had more
Not that much I watched.
We had more live reaction at WrestlePit than what WWE does at a live event. WWE, you can't stand up to go take a bathroom break without this usher coming over and tell you to sit back down in your seat because the
Hearsay.
camera's on.
Hearsay. Does it happen to you? Hearsay.
Need to do a social
Hearsay,
experiment
what are
with
you
Jason and go
talking
to Raw.
about? It's been documented by how many people at live events that have called in the shows and have said, we weren't allowed to stand up. You could only stand up during this segment. You can only stand up during that segment. Vince is making it into like a Broadway play where you have to sit down for the act that's going on. You can only stand up and sit down during the entrance.
What do you want the guy in front of you standing up so you can't see?
It's part of being a fan. If I go to a Steeler game and I'm told that when to stand and when to sit, then I'm not a fan. What am I paying to do? Sit in a seat? You can't dictate how you want people to react, and that's what they're doing. Whether it's by telling people to constantly sit in their seats or piping in crowd noise, you're telling your fan base how to react. That's not a fan base.
So how does this work in New Japan?
What do you mean, how does it work? That's completely cultural, different thing. It's
New Japan, they said all the time.
Can't even compare that.
Yeah.
Can't even compare that. It's different cultures. Besides a Broadway musical or a theatrical play, tell me another event that has fans that go to it where people are constantly just sitting or being told to sit and stand. You go to a concert, somebody's going to tell you, hey, you're in the front row, you can't stand up in the concert. No, everybody's standing up. They're involved, they're singing, they're doing different things, they're talking to their friends, this, that, and the other. WWE is not that. You're not allowed to do that. I'm not going to give my money to be told I can and can't do something as a fan. When it comes to berating performers, yes, there's a line that you don't cross, right?
Steve, do you stand up?
I stand up when I want to stand up.
None of us here stand up for wrestling. None of us here has ever stood up for wrestling.
You're putting a blanket. So now you're dictating to me what I do at an event.
I've watched you.
Right?
Chris will give a clap.
You can't precondition something that's not supposed to be preconditioned.
Next live event we go to, I'm stand up every time.
You're the perfect fan for WWJ because once you sit down, you don't get back up.
I'm the perfect fan.
So you're good. They should put you in the front row of every show, fly you around to every event, put you right there, hard cam center of the screen because you don't move.
Brock Lesnar guy.
Just see the camera.
The guy with different blazers.
It'd make you change your shirt. Couldn't wear that to WWE event.
They wouldn't know.
Oh, they know. They know.
No.
Oh, they know. Still Ricochet needs pushed.
No, he doesn't. You didn't know he was still with the company. Don't change your tune now. Don't change it. Don't be a fan now.
I knew he was still with the company. Ricochet still needs pushed.
Oh no, I was saying it just to tie up the segment. Ricochet needs pushed. And no, I didn't even know he was still with the company.
All right, so we'll segue into the other big news of the week. AEW buys ROH. Initial thoughts just on the announcement by itself, 1, and 2. What do you want to see happen with this acquisition of ROH?
When I first heard of it, I was like, for me personally, I didn't care. It just seemed like another indie promotion buying another indie promotion. It didn't seem like the shockwaves that when WWE bought WCW. And where would I see it go? They could use it like a NXT.
2.0?
No, not 2.0.
That's
Just
what
like
you're right?
just like a development.
So 2.0.
If you want to put it that way, yeah.
So you can shit on it every week.
Give me the hell out of it. Give me the hell out of it. There you go.
I'm glad that this happened. When we talked about stuff earlier in the year, this was something that was on my list of what I wanted to see happen in 2022. Whether it's developmental, I'm still iffy about. I think it's going to be, only because I don't think, Tony Khan doesn't like to do live events like house shows and things like that. So if you're not going to run with this, I could see, like, lately he's been taping like AEW Dark at Universal Studios like once a month. I could see Ring of Honor going into that type of format where they're just going to throw it there and then just, run a show once a month, or however they do it. I think there's enough talent on the AEW roster where you can create a second brand, like not a developmental, but a second brand, and let Ring of Honor still be Ring of Honor to an extent. Whether they make it developmental or make it that, we'll see. But I think there's enough that they could do an actual brand of Ring of Honor instead of being developmental.
Jay, you got anything? I know you don't care really about either one of these companies. So
no, I just like to watch the library if it's on something. That's it.
And I think that's the main reason why it was bought. I don't think it was necessarily to create something, even though Tony said that he will continue, but I think it was more for the library, and that's it.
So then why not just buy the library? They bought everything.
It's just easier that way. When you buy, at least whenever you buy the whole thing, you can, I think it's for the rings. Because I think he bought everything, the rings, the cameras,
equipment.
It's everything. It's all physical,
but with
and intellectual property.
And like you're saying with the intellectual property, it's that, because then you can do whatever you want to with marketing. It's like you're not limiting yourself whenever you're just buying the tape library.
I do think we're going to lead to some sort of streaming deal from this for AEW / ROH. Whether it's rumored to be on HBO Max, we'll see if that plays out. We talked about this when the news broke with Ring of Honor and what would happen and what they could do to keep their name on, the tongues of wrestling fans so that they're not forgotten about, because they were going from December till April without doing any shows, right? And they've done a good job of, especially having their champions out there. Whether we saw Josh Woods, the Briscoes have been doing their thing. Gresham has been tremendous, whether it's been Impact, GCW, he's been around, keeping Ring of Honor in the press clippings in some form or fashion. We saw the quote unquote invasion angle in Impact now with Honor No More. Although they're starting to shift away from that and just become Honor No More, not necessarily Ring of Honor people in Impact. I don't want to see it as a developmental, because to me that defeats the purpose of buying it. I think with the size of the AEW roster, and you can pluck and pick and choose from Ring of Honor's roster who you want to come over and be involved in the fold in that. Obviously, you have your champions, but there's other talent there that you can bring on board. To where, Chris, you said you can have a second company, and they can be a second company where you can do a super show once or twice a year between the brands or companies, whatever the case may be. But it's still different. Music's different. Staging is different. Champions are different. Lighting's different. Like all that to make it different, even though it's all under one umbrella.
You can make the Battle of the Belts be more interesting by this too.
for me, that's where I want to see it go.
Be a hell of a match.
That would be.
Gresham versus anybody is going to be a hell of a match. That dude is. I don't care if he's only 5'6". It doesn't matter to me. Like he's that guy for me right now. I'm on his bandwagon just like I was on Josh Alexander's bandwagon last year. Gresham for me is can't miss right now in the ring, no matter where he's at wrestling or who he's wrestling. Just super fan of his right now. So yeah, I don't know whether or not this is the way for Cody to come back in and be separate from AEW, because rumors are talks with WWE have fizzled out. And they haven't come to any deal.
If there ever were.
But then I saw other things that said his name is on internal roster sheets that are being sent around.
That's why you don't stay out of the sheets. You'll be that 5-year-old fan again.
So
he shows up anywhere you can pop.
Cody shows up at Revolution, and it's just like, there never were talks in WWE.
Yeah, so I don't know. Do you think it's bad for wrestling that this happened?
No, I don't.
I don't.
I think the market's so oversaturated in wrestling. This needs to happen.
That they were bought.
Yeah.
No, because if they get their content streaming, that'll be a big win.
I mean, they had the first ever Ring of Honor Hall of Fame this year. With the four individuals there, Briscoes being 2 people, but Briscoes. We're already seeing matchups announced for the April show for them, which is going to be interesting to see how that comes off, because initially we just thought it was going to be a Ring of Honor event. Now, with Tony buying it, like, how's that gonna? Is that going to be the first building block to what we're going to expect from Ring of Honor? Because I said when Ring of Honor went under, said when they come back, they could be a la MLW, where they bring guys in for a certain stretch, do your stories, they bounce and leave and go somewhere else. Then you bring in another crop of guys, like old territory days, which MLW does with their booking. That's where I thought Ring of Honor was going to go initially before they got bought by Tony Khan. So, you have Gresham versus Bandito announced for that. I want to say the Good Brothers versus the Briscoes were announced for that as well.
It's going to be, so Impact announced this week, I think it's like the multiverse of matches or something like that. So it's a separate event. And that one is Good Brothers versus the Briscoes. So it's not on the Ring of Honor event.
They're the same day. That's where I got confused.
Yeah, I think both are on Friday.
Day. So the Briscoes will wrestle in ROH and Impact on the same day.
So if Ring of Honor is going to hold that night, so I guess Impact's going to run earlier in the day then, which is kind of weird.
Ring of Honor goes on first. I saw that.
Okay.
Ring of Honor is going on first. But yeah, it'll be, like I said, it'll be interesting where they go and how it plays out. Obviously, it's going to be something that will play out over time, and we'll see how it unfolds. But a true developmental brand for AEW, I don't think that'll work. I think you're going to lose fans, especially the Ring of Honor fans that are coming over, because they now know Ring of Honor is going to be around. You may lose those fans.
I think like, especially our age fans, we were there for the reboot of WCW and ECW. Lower your expectations going in. It's a new owner.
Well, see, that's where you have the template of what not to do.
Yeah.
So Tony Khan, watch the WWE ECW and do the exact opposite of what they did with that brand.
With WCW, with ECW, with a brand split, don't do any of it.
You think he's not going to have his finger on something in there?
See, he can't.
I think
he can't do both. That's where the delineation has to come, because he has AEW, he has the Jaguars, he has Fulham,
Too much.
Can't take on another and want to control everything.
He's always there controlling the dark tapings too.
So at some point you got to delineate and you got to designate and do it. So whatever your plan is, I mean, we'll see how it plays out. Like it may be him across the board, but to me, I think it'd be better suited to work in conjunction with, but keep it separate and just have input on things. You need to delineate.
Much like the Cody's and on the WrestleMania sheets, or Cody has fizzled out. The rumor this week, one of them was that, you know, Cody's coming back to run Ring of Honor. I also saw William Regal and Samoa Joe were in talks to run Ring of Honor. So we'll see what happens, but it's not a bad idea. But
see, now if you go with somebody like Joe or like a Regal, for ROH, I think I would get on board more with that plan than Tony overseeing everything.
Yeah. And I mean, I know Tommy Dreamer has been on Busted Open and talked about that Impact has offered William Regal a contract, you know, in the past. So
yeah, why would you not? I mean, he's one of the best minds in wrestling. Like, they brought in Lance Storm. He just started with Impact there. So like, yeah, you gotta have the right people around you to make it work. You have to, and the people that are available right now are some of the best minds in pro wrestling. So,
and there was a time whenever Dixie Carter was trying to find someone to help steer the ship for TNA, and she got in her own way, saying that that the family would say that Dixie wouldn't relinquish power. So no matter what, she had final say, all like of Vince McMahon. This is where Tony needs to learn from that. So if he does put somebody else in charge of Ring of Honor, they need to be in charge of Ring of Honor. You can't sit there and say, no, I'm going to have final say on this. No, because then it becomes just like Vince or Dixie. That
you're fucking with a man's money.
But you need to learn how to
trust people.
That's what it is. Yeah. It's just like any other big corporation.
Mm-hmm.
You have different VPs with everything. You know, you can't do everything.
Will Ring of Honor coincide with an AEW Hall of Fame? I think it's too early for that.
Why not? There's Hall of Fames on every corner.
I'm hoping the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame as we know it right now, where they've just done like video packages for people. I kind of hope that's it. I hope they really don't do anything other than that now. Maybe bring the guys out at the show just to say that, hey, they're part of the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame. But that's
you're not going to get not this year. I don't believe you're going to get like a separate a la Hall of Fame night for that. But
I mean, tune into the Dunmore's Hall of Fame where they induct me. He's putting me in.
No, just say the names during the Hall of Fame and get the hell out of here. We want
I think we can get Vince to put you in for that.
Oh, Vince would love to put you in. The greatest asset to our company.
If there was a WWE fan Hall of Fame, you would definitely be the first inductee.
I was going to say they did a documentary for that Vlad guy in New York, who was like the WWE super fan, but never ended up airing on Peacock. So I think he might be the first one to go in. You're not far behind.
All right. Like I said, tomorrow we'll be on live to break down Revolution. Next week we'll talk about Impact Sacrifice. That card was announced and laid out there, and I want to get your guys' take on that card because it's a loaded card and should be a really good show. And again, I'm gonna preface this like I do every single week. If you're not watching Impact Wrestling, start watching Impact Wrestling. They're doing some of their best work right now. I know people that have Comcast cable, you're not getting it, but
YouTube TV, you got to pay for it. Anything, got to pay for
it. They are putting on some of their best work that they've done recently, and that's saying a lot because they've had a good run here the last year or two, leading into where they're at now with talent and shows and what they've done on a weekly basis. So we'll touch on that next week's Bell to Bell. So. Anything else did you guys want to touch on or wrap up here before we get into drink of the week?
If you guys don't have anything, we started doing Mania Madness this week. So thanks to everybody that's been voting on that. Come on, Jason, what do you got for me? Calling you out on this one.
You have Taker and The Rock matching up in the next round.
So I said the booking of it was terrible.
Is The Rock going to win?
All right. So I set the bracket out a month ago. I didn't get anybody, hey, let's change it to this. Let's change it to that. Y'all just went along with it. Now you want to complain.
That's right. That's exactly right.
All a bunch of dumb marks.
I was just trying to add an extra bracket. That's it. I didn't even look at that.
I didn't hear nothing a month ago.
I looked at it, I saw it, and I said, nope, I'm going to let him die on this one. He can get killed live on air for this bracket.
I'll die on the hill.
Listen, my job, I'm here to chop you off at the knees, not build you up. So if you're looking for self-esteem, you ain't getting it here, brother.
Yeah, but keep
Found
voting.
the LT, Hogan, and
it can't be. They're going up against each other next round, so yeah, but keep voting. Keep voting. We get a lot of votes in. Yeah. It's really fun. Mm-hmm.
We'll finish up the qualifying round this week and start in on the first round. So keep voting.
Yep. All right. With that being said, it's time to drink a beer.
Chug, 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 chug.
All right. This week's drink of the week. I cannot talk today. Jesus. This is brought to you by Founders Brewing. It is called Frootwood. It is a cherry ale aged in maple syrup bourbon barrels. It is 8% alcohol. Now, this drink of the week here, this is the first, I guess, truly fan of the Dunmark show bought beer, because literally the fan bought the beer and then dropped it off to me, and I repaid him back for picking up the beer.
We had the Irish cream ale too.
Well, thank you. This is your week.
Yeah.
Hope you said you weren't got to go.
It's not my fault you don't have fans that go out and pick up beer for you.
They give me candy.
And by fans, I
They give
mean
what I eat.
So yeah, so this is a fan approved bought beer for this week's drink of the week segment. So if it's terrible, don't shit on me. We can shit on him.
It's your week, so we're shitting on
you. Touche, well played.
I'm actually surprised for being in a bourbon barrel. 8% is nothing to be angry over. But
I smell the cherries, right? I smell the cherries right away. Like,
whoever was the fan,
Steve, you get no credit for this.
I'm taking all the credit. This is tremendous.
This is bad. This is
tremendous.
This is bad. This is good.
No, shout out to my my cousin Ray that went out and did a beer reconnaissance for me. He was at Duffy's local beer distributor that we go to pick up on our selection, because they have probably the widest range of beers, and sent me literally like 17 pictures of different beers to try while I was at work. And he was like, I didn't respond because I was working, and he said, screw it. He's like, I got you this. So I swung by his house, picked it up after work that day. But yeah, he did not swing and miss with this. This is delicious.
This is good.
Chris, I haven't heard anything from you yet. I don't know what
I think you drank it yet.
No, I was sitting there thinking like everything that's described as I'm getting.
I'm
getting the cherry. I'm smelling and I'm tasting that. On the back it has. That was my thing. I'm not tasting maple, but it says the maple imposes a velvety texture that lingers for not a moment too long. I think I'm getting the smoothness in the beer from the maple, but not like the overall flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from being brewed in the maple barrels, I think that's where the maple's coming in.
I'm definitely tasting like the bourbon barrel in here, so I'm getting. Definitely the cherry stands out for sure. It says it's light, a light bodied cherry ale, crisp. Yeah, its description's on point.
This is getting me primed and ready to go from spring into summer drinking. So like. This is a nice, crisp, spring beer as you're outside getting your yard ready to go. You know, maybe some landscaping early here in April. You know, yeah, I'm all for this.
I think it coming in at 8% I like, because like last week we had that 12% and we thought like that the bourbon barrel for that was a little too heavy. Where for this, I think it's perfect. You know, you're getting the flavor, but that high alcohol percentage isn't overpowering the beer at the same time.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this a solid 4 out of 5 on the sumo scale.
4 here too.
Donald,
I taste everything that was explained in it. It's getting a high score from me. This is 4 out of 5. I mean, 4.5 out of 5.
Okay.
This is the best beer I've had on the show.
wow.
For me, I'm gonna give it a 4.75.
There we go.
Wow.
He didn't even go with have another. He gave it a numerical rating. So you know,
I'd buy a case.
Okay.
Yeah, I would buy a case of this.
It's got a hint of beer in it a little bit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, if you're out and about, if you see the Founders Frootwood, however you want to pronounce it, definitely grab that.
Frotting is a whole other thing.
That may be your ghost runner. Let him pick up all your beer.
Let's go to the next segment.
Okay, cheers this one?
No, that's it. Next segment. All right, this week in sports, breaking news right now. I just saw this come across looked like it came across about a half hour ago, but WNBA star Brittney Griner was detained at a Russian airport because she plays over in Russia. Officials said that they found hashish oil in her luggage. We're not this type of show. We don't talk about these types of topics because we like for people to come here to get away from the seriousness of everything going on in the world, especially right now with everything going on in the world. Not saying there's a setup, not saying any of that, but yeah, I don't like where any of this is headed, given her name and everything else. Yeah, so
yeah, not good.
Yeah, not good.
You can say anything you want to because they're not watching it.
Well, I'm just saying.
Chris,
I'm just saying we've seen athletes in times of conflict before that were outside the U.S. get caught up with stuff, and
yeah.
So we'll leave it there. I just don't like where any of that is going. So if it was truly her fault and she tried sneaking hashish oil, out of the country, then that's a completely different set of circumstances. But just given the time and the scope and everything that's going on, not saying there's a setup, but I just don't like that being announced right now.
Such a dad joke.
Tremendous. That is a great dad joke, by the way. Jason's trying not to laugh. He's turning away.
You should like that, Jason. That's bad cat Boston stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to laugh in this situation.
Right.
So
with that being said,
try to make it lighthearted again. That's what we're trying to do.
For that being said, Donald, you brought up a couple good topics here. We won't spend a whole lot of time here, but the NFL scouting combine's going on this week. A lot of hoopla, a lot of hooting and hollering over hand size and how fast somebody can run a 40 in and everything else. Is there any value to having the NFL scouting combine?
To me, no. The combine hasn't been important in decades for me because you're not really seeing people on the field. I mean, when you see them on the field, you got their game tapes and everything from college.
Mm-hmm.
that shows me more of an athlete what you could do on the field than you can if you run a 40, or you can bench press this and that, or you could jump this high, or with your hand size. It's like, come on, if you can play, you can play.
It's another.
Oh, of course.
Eyes on the sport. 24/7 cycle.
I think the combine is more important from the medical standpoint. If you have a player that's had injury history or anything like that, or they diagnose an injury, we've seen that, like some athletes go and they find out they have like a heart condition that they didn't know about, whatever. Like I think from a medical side of things, it's more beneficial. The tape don't lie, right? So your tape is number one, right? If you get out there and you see somebody and they're able to run routes a certain way and everything else, it just confirms and solidifies what you see on the tape. But with that being said, we've seen draft combine stars blow up, and yet they do nothing in the NFL. Jamarcus Russell comes to mind immediately, quarterback from LSU that was drafted by the Raiders. And the other night I see Malik Willis from Liberty, who lost out and transferred from Auburn because he lost his job to Bo Nix. And Bo Nix is not going to be a great NFL quarterback, but throws a 65-yard bomb, drops it right in the breadbasket. Boom. And everybody loses their mind. Holy shit, he's coming to the Steelers. Holy shit, he's going to be a top 5 pick. Holy shit. And it's like, wait a second. How many times in an NFL game are you actually throwing a 65-yard pass?
Fun fact, I can throw that pass.
With no pressure.
You're not going to see
sorry.
you guys team.
I'm sorry, but there's no defensive pressure coming on him or anything. You're just getting the handoff and you're going back with it. No,
what's his accuracy rate on 8 and 10 yard curl and out routes? Because if you can't throw those in the NFL, then there's no point that you can throw a 65-yard bomb.
Yeah, I need game situations for stuff like that. Yeah, I can't run no skeleton drill. You tell me, oh, you're going to be the number 1 pick. No, it doesn't work that way. TJ Watt is not coming at you right now at the combine. Tell me what your think process is that.
I get having the combine.
Yeah, you need some type of
so the tryout
evaluation.
Yeah, right. But they have pro days.
It doesn't. Yeah, I mean, but you're getting them all in one place, so you don't have to travel to place to go see somebody's pro day. You get them all in one place, but it doesn't need to be televised, and it doesn't need to be a big thing. If somebody runs a 4.2, show the clip. Maybe it doesn't need to be an event.
John Ross ran a 4.2 and he can't catch. So what kind of receiver? So what kind of receiver is he?
He'll be converted to a corner.
So this whole conversation leads into the next topic that we talked about that came up because it's been discussed heavily on morning talk shows. What happened to morning sports shows?
The Lakers, the Cowboys, and the Cowboys.
There is no morning sports show on any of the networks.
I blame Tim Tebow.
How's that?
That's
Tebow mania. It started all his 24/7 cycle.
Okay.
But there is not an entertaining sports show that I turn on in the morning. No. I can't listen to any of these guys.
I listen to the night shows.
It's the same. It's the same format. It's the same conversation. Yeah. It's the same topics, no matter what network you on.
And then you get Orlovsky and Ryan Clark on every show. Back to back to back.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, you're getting the same opinion on every show.
Yeah.
But I mean, even regardless of what they're talking about, but the talents, watching the people themselves, it's like, I'm over Skip and Shannon. I don't want to see them no more. I'm over that. Keyshawn J. Will and Max is probably the worst show in the morning. Those three have zero chemistry together, and it's just boredom. And I don't even like having it on as background noise anymore.
What is it? Jason, you said it best. the Cowboys, the Lakers, or LeBron, like it's so hard to filter out stuff. Like with Skip and Shannon, like
That's all they talk
automatically
about.
they talk right into LeBron if it's basketball season or the Cowboys. And if it's something you want to listen to, it's not until like what, an hour and a half in the show.
If
It's
that,
like they do Cowboys, Lakers, Cowboys again, and it's just like,
like
oh
shows
my
that touch on-
gosh,
I like shows that touch on every game.
yes.
Give me everything. These they stick on 3 subjects every day, and no matter what season it is, it's LeBron, the Cowboys, and the Lakers.
And even like First Take the last couple of weeks, like the only thing Stephen A. and Perkins was talking about was the 76ers.
Mhm.
It was like hard in this, hard in that. It was like enough is enough. Like there's something else happening in sports but the 76ers right now.
And
And I'm sorry, like I used to like Stephen A. back in the day, but he talked too damn much for me now.
and can the females have a say on shows like that, or are they just the moderators?
Yeah, like
It's
I
that,
mean, there's definitely like give me Mina Kimes on ESPN sitting across from Stephen A. every once in a while. Give me, give
Yes.
me, and I know Joy
Yeah.
Taylor has done some stuff here and there with what's the one with Marcellus Wiley and Emmanuel Acho? Speak for Yourself. I think that's the name of their show on FS1. But like, yeah, I mean, like you said, it's the same people, it's the same takes, it's the same regurgitation of topics. And to me, it does not like I watch reruns of Charmed in the morning. It's background noise while I'm getting ready for work instead of having on sports. Like,
What new show isn't like that these days? Everything's just regurgitation of the same stuff.
I'll watch PTI just because it's Tony and Will Warren, and I'll watch Around the Horn because they touch stuff like you don't see on
But
TV.
Tony and Wilbon will do the same stuff. They'll hit on the same topics,
Yeah.
But
even whenever it's not
however-
NFL season, they're talking about NFL shit.
But it's a quick.
however,
But it's like
with
2 minutes.
PTI, with PTI, granted, you may have a Rodgers 2-minute topic from them too, based on even though we got Rodgers all morning long on ESPN, but Tony and Wilbon and this is why PTI still to this day separates itself from everybody else. They hit on everything throughout the show,
except hockey.
But very limited on hockey.
They do touch hockey though, yeah.
They do.
Very limited though.
But yeah, but I mean,
But at least they touch
do.
it though. At least they touch
I
it.
just don't think either of them are big, hockey fans. I think that's why they don't touch on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, and even Sports Center, like even that fell off. Like that was the go-to in the morning before school. Like, and even watching that, it's just
Can't
like
say last time.
It is.
So it's just,
They just stay on the same subject all the time. Cowboys, Lakers, LeBron, Brady.
Nets.
Like that's it. Yeah.
how
Nets.
many times are we going to talk about Brady retired or not retired? Find out next. No, I don't give a shit. Like,
And now it's Aaron Rodgers.
They are. I agree. Yeah.
Every sportscaster is interchangeable.
They're like the
You-
Michael Cole. They're Michael Cole now.
You- can't be a Stu Scott.
yeah.
They're almost all cookie cutter.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's all for sports. Donald, I'm going to save the last topic here because it's going to tie into my one gotta go. So
Okay.
all right, so to bleed in over into one gotta go from this week in sports.
Before you get into that, we'll go
you're
into
going to give the results from last week.
do the results
Go ahead.
first.
I got 8% alcohol sitting on an empty stomach.
You see my private chat.
We'll do it.
Man.
We'll do it real quick. Last week, Jason, for streaming services, the fans voted Disney Plus gotta go.
How you hate kids.
Oh
You hate
man,
children. You hate your childhood.
the people know me.
And starting March 16th on Disney Plus, you're getting Punisher, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Daredevil. All that content from Netflix will be on Disney Plus starting March 16th, so you'll be able to watch all that. So it's not just for the kids.
Cool. I mean, they didn't do it before the poll. They're doing it now, so they'll get the vote for me.
Take it away, Steve.
All All right, so this week, to bleed in over from this week in sports, Major League Baseball is by far the worst.
It is.
They are by far the fourth most, maybe fifth most entertaining pro sports in the country. I'll put MLS over Major League Baseball right now.
I would too.
I'll put NASCAR over Major League Baseball. I'll put the NHL.
And I'll put
the NHL over Major League Baseball.
And I'll put
basketball,
wrestling above
football.
them too.
Yeah.
You said wrestling?
I'll put wrestling over them too. They were terrible. You
have a stooge of a commissioner that comes out there and is cracking jokes and making laughs during his press conference, saying that they're canceling games because they haven't come to a collective bargaining agreement, and then has the nerve to say, well, we care about our audience the most, and that's the most thing that's important to us. He's the Vince McMahon of baseball, of sports commissioners.
And he's practicing his golf swing during negotiations.
I mean, did you expect anything different from him, though? I said this whenever he took over. He was the protege of Bud Selig. All he was going to be Bud Selig 2.0. That's exactly what he's turned out to be.
So, with that being said, since we are not getting Major League Baseball opening day, and the first two series have been canceled, and it's probably going to be lingering on a little longer, this week's One Gotta Go is a Major League Baseball movie doubleheader. Oh, whoa, what happened there?
Technical difficulty.
Yeah, right. Did this a couple weeks ago too. There we go.
All right, so since nobody's going to be able to watch baseball opening day, I figured the only way you're going to get baseball takes is by watching baseball movies. So we have a double edition of One Gotta Go. We have serious baseball movies, and then we have funny baseball movies in the as the second part of the doubleheader. Okay. So for the serious baseball movies, and if you want to come at me and add in other ones, you can. I was trying to narrow down the field. I was going off various lists of top baseball movies all time and trying to figure out what we get talking and debate going. But for serious baseball movies, we have 42, 61, A League of Their Own, and Field of Dreams. Which serious baseball movie out of these four gotta go?
I think I've only seen A League of Their Own.
Damn, this is rough.
I've seen parts of Field of Dreams. Never seen 61 or 42. 42 is staying just because it's 42.
You're just saying that because you have an obligation to say that even though you never.
You don't even know what 42 means.
Come on now, it's Chadwick Boseman, Jackie Robinson. I know. Still never seen it, but it's staying. A League of Its Own is staying too, of their own because 61 got to go. Field of Dreams had the better quotes.
Chris?
Jason lives for the moments. So unfortunately for me, I've never seen 42. I don't know why.
Wow.
So
One more
I gotta get
time
on that. I've seen 61, League of Their Own, Field of Dreams. I'm going to do it, and I don't want to do it, but just because I haven't seen it, I'll take off 42. I can't get rid of the other ones.
Oh, the privilege. Oh, man.
Damn.
We're in March. It's okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I saw all the movies. I like them all. To me, it's either going to be between the League of Their Own or Field of Dreams. Field of Dreams is tough because even though it's about a baseball movie, I don't consider it a baseball movie.
That's why I threw it on the list for a twist because I initially had the natural up here, and also thought of maybe doing Babe with John Goodman. But yeah, I figured Field of Dreams is a little bit of a twist because you could argue that it's not even really a baseball movie. But
and then A League of Their Own, it is a completely baseball movie, but it seemed like more of a comedy movie than seriousness until the end. I would have to say A Field of Dreams. Have to go.
A League of Their Own, a comedy when It's based around women's baseball. It started up because of the World War. Her husband dies in the war.
He's thinking of Rosie O'Donnell.
Huh? No, not because of Rosie O'Donnell. Because there was a lot of jokes within the movie.
I was gonna say Steve said it perfect. It's a comedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there was a lot of jokes. I mean, I know the seriousness of it from World War II and them taking over the men playing and that stuff, but I saw the seriousness like towards the end. Yeah, I'll have to say Field of Dreams because I just don't consider that a baseball movie. Dude just made a dude just made a baseball field. What did he do?
And they came.
Spoiler: he met his dad.
I have seen all of these movies. I have seen all of these movies multiple times. Since that is the case, I'm going strictly off of the one that I like the least out of these four, and for me, that's Field of Dreams. So anytime any of these four are on TV, I'll stop and watch. But if that's the case and all four of these are on at once, I'm gonna take Field of Dreams off. All right. So there's the day doubleheader.
Thanks, Dave. I don't feel so bad.
You guys need to broaden your horizons.
It's on. Right, so as many movies as I've seen, there's still so many I haven't.
The nightcap of the doubleheader, we're going into a little bit more fun talk here with the comedy side of baseball movies. So let's go.
There we go.
We have the Bad News Bears, Major League, Rookie of the Year, and the Sandlot. Out of these four, which one got to go? Jay?
Bad News Bears.
Oh my gosh! It was, cut him off right now.
It was kind of overrated for me.
Cut him off. Cut him. Wow.
Jason, tag me in.
Oh my goodness.
My man, what was my man's name?
Tanner, yes.
Was that the one that found? I see.
Yes.
He was about the only highlight.
Mathau's greatest
the original one. Oh.
You said Walter Matthau's greatest moment? You haven't seen The Great Outdoors. Is that what it was called?
I thought Grumpy Your Old Man.
Yeah, that one.
Great Outdoors?
The Great Outdoors.
Or the Odd Couple.
Shut him off. That beer is getting to him. Shut him off. Go ahead. You wanted to tag in, Chris. What do you got for this?
Oh, out of this list, Bad News Bears got to go.
Yeah.
That is by far the worst on this movie.
Are you kidding? Oh my gosh. I
can see why people like it, but for me, no. The other three are much better than that. Yeah, Bad News Bears can go.
Donald.
Y'all don't know what the hell y'all talking about. Bad News Bears is in my top 5 of the greatest movies of all time. Sorry, but it is.
I can't believe you like a movie on here. They're all funny.
Tanner, the most foulest mouth shortstop I've ever known.
I'll take Andrew in the outfield over Bad News Bears.
Please cut him off. Please. Major League, that is definitely not going nowhere. That is like standard bearer after Bad News Bears. After these two, Rookie of the Year or the Sandlot, I would have to say Rookie of the Year.
You taking Kevin off the list?
Rookie of the Year got to go. It wasn't that great of a movie.
Terrible take.
It was not that good of a movie.
Not surprised from the guy that doesn't like comedies.
Man, for all that, man, you could have put Little Big League up there. It would have been better.
Little Big League and Angels in outfield definitely were in consideration for the list.
Hell, Summer Catch is better than Rookie of the Year.
that was in consideration.
I mean, there's a quote, but awful take.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with you, Donald. Rookie of the Year out of these four got to go. So we are split on the show. Two for Bad News Bears, 2 for Rookie of the Year. So we need you guys, the fans, to chime in and decide to.
You said this was one that you weren't sure about.
Basketball was definitely in the running, but
and that's above Bad News Bears. I just whooped y'all ass like less than security.
So there you go. Baseball doubleheader. The only baseball that you're going to get this year is through baseball movies. Hit us up on social media. Let us know which one got to go if we post that this week.
Even any of the movies that we put on the list are more entertaining than what baseball will be if it comes back.
This is true.
That's very true.
So,
Very
all right,
true.
and with that being said, let's get into final thoughts.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to episode 76. Before we send things home, just a couple housekeeping notes. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you get notifications when we go live each week. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DumbMarksPod. Don't forget our audio-only edition of the show is available on demand on all your favorite podcast platforms. And support the show by telling a friend about us and purchasing our official merch at prowrestlingtees.com/DumbMarksPod.
There's that good.
All right, Donald, final thoughts, gaming news wise.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get gaming in. The PS5 Pro dev kits were passed out this weekend. They were under security and under nonchalant purposes. They somehow ended up in all of the gaming studios headquarters. So look out for PS5 Pro. We'll start developing games for it probably 2023.
Can
The
we
system
get a
will come
PS5
out
first?
Yeah, very true. Just can't get one of them. And also Nvidia, they are a tech company that does microchips for 4K screens and that stuff, and they've been hacked, or data mined, which they call it now. And hackers found out that Nintendo has been in contact with them for doing a new Switch that's supposed to come out in 2024. And the new Switch is supposed to have what we suspected the Switch Pro was going to be: 4K screen, 4K gaming, the FPS rates and all that stuff. So yeah, so look like Nintendo is finally going to up their game.
The gaming dirt sheets are just about as bad as pro wrestling dirt sheets.
Oh man, they are. They are. And then the last thing I had, Funimation, their anime app is being absorbed into the Crunchyroll. So I said this a couple weeks ago that both apps were going to be absorbed together and make one big app. They're just absorbed into the Crunchyroll. So Crunchyroll will be your new anime app out coming forward.
All right, nice. I got a few things from movie standpoint. Obviously, the Batman came out, released yesterday. Everything that I have seen and heard has been nothing but rave reviews about it. Some people are saying it is the second best Batman movie ever, behind The Dark Knight. I plan on trying to go see it in theaters here sometime over the course of the next week or two. If you don't go to theaters to see it, you'll be able to see it on HBO Max 90 days from yesterday. So
I saw AMC is charging more for the Batman than any of their other movies. So there's an upcharge on it.
Yeah, they said that something they did in Europe. They've been doing that in Europe for years, so they're testing it out in the US now.
A couple other movie things that I saw announced this week. Creed 3 will be Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut, and it'll be the first Rocky movie that does not Rocky/Creed movie does not involve Sylvester Stallone.
Interesting.
So Stallone will not be in this one.
I still need to watch the first two.
Really good.
That's what I hear.
Another movie that's going to be coming out that will include Michael B. Jordan. I Am Legend 2 is happening with Will Smith returning. And him and Michael B. Jordan are partnering up. So I don't know if Michael B. Jordan will be directing it or will be involved in the movie as an on-screen character, but those two have linked up for I Am Legend 2. And then
I don't need that.
Donald,
it's under wraps.
It's
under wraps.
I just want to know how. Not giving out spoilers, but how.
It's over 10 years. It's okay.
Yeah. Donald, one for you. Saw 10 is planned to be very much a John Kramer story, with Tobin Bell being eyed to return as Jigsaw. The script is now in active development. So if you're a fan of the Saw series, you're getting a Saw 10.
It's not needed.
I love Saw, but man, what else can you do with it?
Yeah.
Can we get a comedy that goes 10 movies? Not a Fast and the Furious. Or
No, because
or
they
a horror
filter out.
movie.
No, because they filter out after 2 movies. That's what I'm
Speaking of Fast and the Furious, I saw that one on HBO Max this week. The new one.
I'm gonna have to
The
watch
new
it.
one?
Yeah, 9. Yeah, so I was like, okay, I'll watch this.
See if I can see an F5 in there.
The other thing that I saw that involved the script this week was that the script
Yes.
and yeah,
Yes.
They've run out ideas a long time ago.
The script for Cobra Kai season 5, there was a tweet from Cobra Kai account that showed the script. So they are in the process of working through Cobra Kai season 5. So all you Cobra Kai marks like myself will be hopefully enjoying Cobra Kai season 5 come around New Year's Eve of 2022, just like they did this past year. Anybody got anything else?
I'm good.
All right. With that being said, we got a quote this week from Lou Holtz. Ability is what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do. Attitude determines how well you do it. Ability is what you're capable of doing. So, Jay, that's your ability to sleep. Motivation determines what you do. Your motivation is sleep. Attitude determines how well you do it. You love sleep. So with that being said, I'm a Mark, you're a Mark, tell a Mark. Until next time, y'all can catch us around the way.